This is Almost Live at Streaming Media West 2016 in Huntington Beach. I'm Tim Siglin, contributing editor for Streaming Media Magazine, and I'm here with Gustav, who's the CEO of Mirror Image. Gustav, I remember doing a podcast years ago, probably 1998, with one of the people from your company. You've been around for a long time. When were you originally founded?
We started in 1997,
okay.
So we've been around for 19 years.
And since you've been around for almost as long as streaming has been around, what are some of the trends that you've seen?
I think the change in terms of consumption of video has changed dramatically, I think, over the years.
Probably when you started in the early days, audio streaming was big. Is audio streaming still big these days?
Yes, it is, and as part of our business, it's actually been growing.
Really?
So we have customers who are in the verticals like broadcasters in terms of radio,
okay.
Religious broadcasters like WTN, Air One, or Clove Radio, who uses radio. But the bigger question is, what is audio going to be in the future?
Sure.
And there are people who think that the audio will not continue to grow, but rather decline, and particularly with the advent of autonomous vehicles and the ability to consume more video in the future.
So do you do any, say, Reg FD type of audio streaming, or is it primarily VOD assets?
We do both live and video on demand, but it's more I'd call it consumption for entertainment purposes more than any other one.
So you've been around this whole period of time. You said audio is growing. What other things have you been doing recently? What are you announcing?
Well, the first thing I said, we think don't think of ourselves as a CDN anymore, but as a dynamic delivery network.
Okay.
And the differentiation for that is that we have developed a cloud application logic to sit at the edge of our network that allows us to make real-time decisions at the edge, using our worldwide synchronized distributed database. So companies like ad serving networks or people who need highly scalable, real-time, globally low latency solutions can use our application to deploy their decision making closer to the end user.
Okay, so because you're putting it out closer to the edge, the latencies are significantly lower.
So they can collect data on not only decision making, but also look at cookies, making decision making, obviously the typical device recognition issues and so on, but all with extremely low latency.
Okay. And is there a product or service name for this?
It's called ECF, so it's our cloud application logic.
Okay, very good. What other things do you sort of see as trends in the industry?
More and more bigger quality assets in terms of video, and the events of the whole social networks, including people like Snapchat today, is definitely is changing how the video is consumed.
Snap is sort of a VOD model. That's what they've gone with. You had Vine, which Twitter, of course, has dropped. Of course, you got Facebook Live, where it's live and then it's turned into a VOD asset. Do you see the trend toward more live content or bigger libraries of VOD content?
Live is out there, but I think it's the question is who has a content that's valuable to stream to a large amount of people. So I think the more that normal consumption is going to be in.
And obviously your edge caching model benefits by larger VOD libraries, so it means that regardless of the number of assets, you can still maintain that low latency.
And if you think of like in an OTT, right, where everybody can decide on when to start their viewing habits. It's not a broadcast where you have 10,000 to 1 or whatever the number is.
Right.
Now you're 1 to 1 or 2 to 1, and it's all. So it creates a different level of complexity.
And do you, from your caching standpoint, do you feel like you'll be able to handle more long tail content there as well? So allowing a library to continue to grow as opposed to paring it back at the edge just to the most recent videos?
The caching model, is built on people having content that people are really interested in.
True.
So it's a consumption decision. If people want to see the content, then the content will exist as far out in the edge as possible. Content that's not interested, take my Facebook page. How many people want to look at that? It's all about the desirable,
the popularity and desirability of the content. All right, very good.
And you could have celebrities and their content. There's a lot of people who want to see it, so it will be cached.
All right, so to wrap up, are there any other products that you all are launching that are of interest to streaming media's listeners and viewers?
Yeah, we introduced a new product. It's called Adblockover.
Okay.
And what we're trying to do is to recapture the lost revenues that publishers are losing by the pretty significant popularity of ad blockers. And so we try to monitor, we abide by the IAAB's guidelines on how to deal with ad blockers, but we're trying to help publishers monetize their content by giving them different options in terms of which ads to override or what blocking to override, what messages to give in terms of please whitelist our site, etc.
Right, exactly.
But it's become very popular, and particularly for publishers of.
And this will be server-side override of server-side ad insertion.
Yes, but it will sit at the edge of the network using our application logic, and so for some clients this could be very significant.
Okay, good. Again, Gustav, thank you for being with us, and this is Almost Live at Streaming Media West 2016.